So I got some cements, type S, strong stuff. It'll say right here, 1 bag cement and not more than, and this is 1 cubic feet of cement. It's, I think, 75 pounds. And not more than 3 cubic feet of sand. And then it meets, some way excessive, government standard, So basically, 1 shovelful of cement and then 3 shovelfuls of sand, kind of meets that. And then doing concrete, you add some rocks. So it's kind of like that makes mortar. The sand and the cement makes the mortar. When you throw the rocks in there, you're like basically mortaring the rocks together. And you don't want too many rocks, or else there won't be enough mortar. So kind of a good amount of rocks is 2-part rock. Using the shovel, getting the sand, 3 shovelfuls sand, 2 shovelfuls gravel, then 1 shovelful cement, so that's the theory, but then the practice, there's always a difference, between theory and practice. Practice is, it's the rocks, being rounded 3/4 pea gravel. They kind of roll off the shovel, so I do like 2.5 shovelfuls of gravel, because it's a small shovelful of gravel. And then the sand, you can get a big shovelful of sand, so 3 shovelfuls of sand is standard. And then kind of, since it's a big shovelful of sand, I can't get quite as big of a shovelful of cement. It's more like 1.5 shovelfuls of cement, that I'm doing. But basically what should be is 1, 2, 3, and I'm doing 1.5, 2.5, 3. And that takes about a gallon of water. That's a gallon right there. Doing the 1, 2, 3, probably about 3/4 of a gallon to get to a nice consistency. General plan is I'm doing so for the second part of the ramp video, doing a footing, and they'll be putting cinder blocks on them. Probably going up to about this high, it looks like, so another 2 courses. All of these will be angled, so the footing, concrete footing, has some double rebars. Right now it's just sitting in there. Once I get a layer of concrete, kind of stand it up, once it's about half full, stand it up, center it. And then, cut cinder blocks, put the cinder blocks on it. Then I can put the pea gravel down, take out the forms, put some pea gravel in there, cinder block it, and then, this is, the ramp up, and then, it'll be probably about, like a 8-foot, 12-foot, or not 8-foot, 9-foot landing, 4 foot on this side, 4 foot on that side, the landing going across, and then it'll be ramping up, I'm not doing that ramp up now, whenever I get around to backfilling, which will be years from now maybe, when I'm on my next trip out here, and I want the gravel all down along the footing, so that's what makes this important. I think that's some kind of a pest, maybe like a cucumber beetle or something. I don't got any cucumbers, so it's not a pest right now, but those may end up being pests. But yeah, well, I got the gravel, so that's kind of why this is, priority on the construction. I can always do mortar to fill these voids, it would probably be easier, but I need the gravel for here, so I want to use, the gravel here while I got it. You know, fill this in, and then use the last of it up, filling the voids.
Fresh air. I'm Terry Gross. Many people have dreamed of for the country to live in a way that would reflect their concerns about the environment. Our next guests, John and Molly Chester, are a couple who did just that. They left their home in Los Angeles and started an organic farm. But they soon learned about the many ways nature can turn against you, no matter how noble your intentions. The Chesters tried to turn a dry and soil-depleted 200-acre parcel into a lush organic farm. They were determined to tend fruit orchards and raise cows, pigs, and chickens in harmony with nature. Drought, pests, windstorms, and fires threatened to end the venture, but after 8 years, their farm, Apricot Lane Farms, is thriving. John Chester, who was a filmmaker before he tried to directed a new documentary called The Biggest Little Farm about the obstacles he and Molly, a former private chef, faced and overcame, and what their experiences can tell us about the relationship between humans and our environment. The Biggest Little Farm has won several awards at film festivals and will be in theaters this Friday. Molly and John Chester spoke with Fresh Air's Dave Davies.
John Chester, Molly Chester, welcome to Fresh Air.
I grew up in my 20s. I worked on a couple of family farms, but they were, industrial sort of commercial monocrop operations growing corn and soy for essentially Purdue chickens. But no understanding of soil or the importance of biodiversity or how the whole ecosystem went together. In fact, it was all about suppressing, the ecosystem and controlling it and fighting it. So there wasn't really an understanding beyond the factors and weed whacking.
So somehow you managed to find investors and put this thing together and buy a couple hundred acres north of Los Angeles. What was the land like when you saw it?
It was conventionally run lemon farm, monocrop more or less. There were some avocados as well, but it had been extractively farmed for 45 years, meaning that in order to grow the food cheaply, they were taking out the nutrients from the soil and not regenerating them. And that, that's kind of the basis for conventional ag. It's not looking at the whole system. It's not regenerating soil necessarily. So we essentially just convinced our partners to purchase a bankrupt piece of land. We had to figure out a way to jumpstart that flywheel system of the soil through these regenerative practices.
It looks pretty dry and ugly in the film.
We thought it was beautiful at the time.
Yeah, I thought it was the most beautiful place I'd ever seen, and it felt so magical at that time. And looking back, it totally was a desert. But it's amazing what happens when you start to think your happiness is in front of you with something. It just shields all of the realities.
Right, and there's a guy who's sort of at the heart of the story. I mean, the muse, the Merlin, this guy Alan York, who was an advisor to Buffett. Give us an idea of some of the early images, some of the first things that he mentioned.
Alan was big picture, and so he was looking at what do we need to take out to put in what should more naturally grow in this region.
And to add to that, his goal for us was to maximize biological diversity, through the use of plants, animals, wildlife.
Pre-cutting the cinder blocks for putting on the footing. Did up a cardboard template, and I put this on there. This level has a spinnable thing, so you set it on there and then level, spin this until it reaches level. Then you can put this on whatever, and get it back to level. Mark that angle. And the pound's getting to me. 100 degrees. Space the blocks out. Have them dry fitted over here. Gave them 3/8 gaps. Marked them with the levels. So first cut right here, scrap. second cut, third cut, fourth cut, fifth cut.
The restoration of wildlife habitat. So he wanted to basically, he was encouraging us to start a 10-ring circus.
Well, we should note that this wasn't just on the farm with some advice from Alan. You managed to recruit volunteers from all around the world to help, which is, of course, critical because there's a lot of work. You brought animals, and I should just say for the audience, I mean, this is just a beautiful photographed film. It's just absorbing to watch. But you bring animals. I mean, you bring ducks, and you bring chickens, and you buy a bull at auction. And then that changes the mix of what's happened. So stuff grows, trees grow, and you discover various birds like to eat the fruit on the trees.
Everything we did to improve the land caused another problem.
Right.
You know, we grew cover crops. The snails love cover crop, and the snails eat the leaves of our citrus trees. And we grew cover crop, and we created the worst gopher problem in probably Ventura County. If someone could tell me what I could do with gophers, we would be in the black of us. So we were really creating new problems with every solution. So it required a commitment to go a lot deeper than we thought we were going to have.
You had all kinds of problems with plants helping themselves to crops that included these delicious fruit trees that are among the gophers, which were attracted by the cover soil that you controls nutrients and water. And you got a lot of gophers
Gophers in small quantities can be good. They're tilling for soil. They're actually helping to transfer and inoculate various funguses that are important to soil health and bacteria. But too many, and they start eating the roots. So we tried to fight the gopher problem with manpower. And spent thousands and thousands of dollars trapping gophers. But it wasn't until year 5 that we realized that there were things in the ecosystem that manage gophers, like barn owls. So we spent probably $600, $700 on barn owl boxes. And by year 7, we had about 7 barn owls come through the farm, multiple clutches in each box, and they estimated 15,000 to 30,000 gophers, which was way more than 3 men full-time could do in a year. And so knowing those kinds of things is what makes this way of farming more affordable. We've lost the connection to the Lord, and we've stopped innovating, and this innovation and this type of experimentation is something that ultimately will make this type of farming, not only ecologically sustainable, but financially sustainable.
Let me just reintroduce you, then we'll take a break and talk some more. We're speaking with Molly and John Chester, whose 7-year effort with their 200-acre organic farm is the subject of the new documentary, The Biggest Little Farm. We will talk some more after a short break. This is Fresh Air.
The Bats hail from New Zealand, and this band of former jazz students rock out on their debut album, Future Me Meets big riffs, harmonies, and biting and smart lyrics. It's a mini concert from the Bats coming up on the Next World Cafe.
Stay with us for World Cafe coming up at 7 o'clock. This is Murray State's 91.3 WEKMS. Find out how your business can support your station at wekms.org/underwriting. Support comes from Murray State University, where teachers across the state of Kentucky can pursue their graduate degrees and certifications to advance their careers. There's more to learn about preparing school for tomorrow at murraystate.edu/graduate.
So this is dry fitting the last of the cuts for the ramp retaining wall. So it's kind of, there's the that thickness right there. I can't remember, 5 3/4 maybe. Then you measure the setback, measure the setback, measure the setback. So going from this, I had these blocks over here, so I could measure that setback and set this course. This is kind of, that setback sets the placement of this block, and then, you know, doing those other setbacks to get the placement for these blocks, you know, and then got them all spaced, you know. It's not perfect, but neither is my mortar. You know, this is pretty much an accurate depiction of my mortaring. Then use the level, you know, with the rotary dial. It's a sweet idea. Yeah, marked the lines, so it's, you know, first piece, second piece, third piece, fourth piece, fifth piece, sixth piece, and a tiny seventh piece.
This is Fresh Air, and we're speaking with John and Molly Chester, whose remarkable effort to create a 200-acre biodynamic farm battling droughts, pests, and fire is the subject of a new documentary directed by John called The Biggest Little Farm. Well, you were still struggling to get the fruit crops going. You had a lot of chickens, and they laid a lot of eggs, and you were able to sell those, so that was really working. But there was a problem with coyotes eating the chickens. How did you try and address that?
Well, the coyotes ate about 350 of our chickens, and you know we refused to shoot the coyote because we wanted to find a way to collaborate. But you know, ultimately, I succumbed to it, and I kill a coyote, and I think it's a really important moment in the film because there's something that happens after that has a profound effect on the way I look at the coyote's role. The coyote also happens to eat gophers and rabbits, another pest on the farm. If we kill all the coyotes, we're going to make that problem worse. And that forced us to find a solution.
It is quite a moment in the film when you shoot the coyote. He's trapped trying to get through a fence, and we can see you level. You feeling emotional? In shooting the one coyote, the thing that was weighing on me the most was that I knew this wasn't the only coyote. I was going to have to obliterate every coyote that crossed our path, and we were the farm that had animals like that they were eating. We were creating a food system for coyotes, so it was going to be an endless battle of constantly killing coyotes. And I think that's the thing that scared me the most, was that it felt like an incredibly slippery slope.
That is a really good point, John, I think, too, because anytime we slip into a space where eradication is the answer, we are almost always in a losing battle.
And then you found a way that the coyotes became healthy. How did that happen?
Well, after we had shot the one coyote, there was a coyote that ran into a fence at the garden, and it had paralyzed itself. And I had to actually now, euthanize this coyote. It was still alive, but it couldn't move. But when I asked, why is this coyote in the garden, I looked around and it had been digging holes in the garden. It was eating gophers. It was chasing rabbits. It was actually helping to balance another problem. And so I thought, there's got to be another way, and we finally found one of our guardian dogs didn't eat chickens. The only one. Her name was Rosie, and Rosie became the guardian dog of our flock, and knock on wood, we've not lost any chickens since then. So now the coyotes are busy eating, gophers and rabbits.
So the gophers were eating the roots of the fruit trees. That was the problem. And now that the coyotes can't get the chickens, it goes for the gophers, which is a big help to you. Huh.
Yeah, nature is simple opportunists, and we just need to make it slightly harder on one side so that they get in the direction. Sometimes it doesn't require as much effort. But yeah, I like it as like you kind of use kind of modern vernacular. It's like you're hacking into the engine of